these days, haven't we? Right, okay, so let's go around the table, introduce everyone, and we'll go from. Just want to remind anyone who's tuning in right now. Steve's be back on. Let me just sort that out. Sorry, everyone. There we go, back on. So just remind everyone you can get involved. You can put your comments up, ask questions, whatever you like. Want to talk about something with us? Go ahead. Just whatever platform you're watching on, just drop it on in the comments, and hopefully, we pick it up. But generally, we do. So let's quickly go around the table. Tom, obviously, we didn't see you last week. How are you doing? How are you keeping?
Yeah, really, really well. Thank you, mate. Really, really well. I tuned into the show last week, although I couldn't be on it, and even caught Callie talking non-league. So that was a nice welcome surprise. But yeah, all good. Other than that, mate, all good indeed.
Excellent. Nige, how you been?
Yeah, been good, mate. Apart from not being able to escape Tom. It's been good. Do you know what? The footy was back on TV on Saturday, and it's off again. The internationals just bored me stiff. So it was so good to get all the proper football back on the screens, and I'll have my haircut as well. So.
Championships alive and kicking at the moment, isn't it? So we can touch a little bit on that as we go through. Okay, let me introduce you to our guest tonight. So Steve Galloway. You're the treasurer at Wellingborough Town?
Match day secretary.
Yeah. Tom, get your information right.
I thought I did have my information right.
So obviously, Tom...
I have to change that in my article.
Visit down at Wellingborough on Saturday, which we'll talk a lot more about. But welcome onto the show, Steve. Hope you enjoy it. And we get to talk a lot about non-league as well, although Nigel would rather us not sometimes, I think. But there we are.
I don't want it. I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot about it. That's why.
Yeah.
I think I know more about the food at non-league grounds at the moment than I do about the football.
Well, yeah. I think. We'll talk more about Tom's article in a little while. Just to give everyone an idea, we're going to have a little run through some of the leagues. I mean, in non-league, we're going to take a little look at the national and the national south and north. We are going to have a little look at Wellesley there in the Northern Premier Midland Division, and we're going to have a look at that. Also, we are going to talk about the FA Cup. That's now reaching very close to its conclusion. And how refreshing is it that we've got sides in it? All right, I know Man City are still in it, but it's quite refreshing to see the rest of the sides in the semis are not the normal few that always get there. So it's quite. Let's start on the FA Cup. Let's start on that. I was hoping Dan is going to jump on at some point. Dan being a Crystal Palace fan, obviously very happy. But yeah, let's kick off with the FA Cup. So, thoughts on the lineup? Going to play Villa, Brighton against Manchester City minus Haaland out for 7 weeks. Come on, who do you think it'll be? It's a tough shout.
It's difficult to say. I think
any one of
you would consider City certainly favourites to go on and win it, but this is a different City this season. Obviously, this isn't the City of old that are sort of pilling it away in the Championship and then sort of running away with the domestic cups as well. Obviously, Nottingham Forest in there as well. Massive surprise package this season. So whilst you've got City as favourites, the others there have absolutely got more of a shout now than probably what they've ever had in the last 10 years. Because like you say, it's generally sort of the same few that get into those stages. Whereas this season, there's a couple of surprise packages. So at least we're going to have somebody unexpected in the final. Even if they do come up against Manchester City, it's still going to be somebody expected. So it's definitely going to be a bit more worth a watch this season for me.
Yeah, I think.
Let's hope so.
The fact that City aren't really going to do much this season, apart from this is their last chance to really win a bit of silverware. I don't know. I think they'll be really fired up for it in the semis. But all 4 teams that are in the semis deserve to be there. You know, they've not got there by mistake. They've been playing well. It should be good. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody could predict the final at the moment. You know, normally City would be a cert, but like Tom said, they're real building it at the moment. They're getting young players in. They're rebuilding the squad. So I think he'd see that as quite an achievement of winning the FA Cup this year with that team. Guardiola got it right.
I mean, if Forest, sorry, Steve, go on. You fancy Villa?
I quite fancy Villa, but they do blow a bit hot and cold this season, don't they? And as well as the Champions League going to be a bit of a distraction.
Yes, yeah. I guess if you look at Nottingham Forest, what an incredible season they're having as well. The turnaround there has been truly amazing. Imagine if they get through to the final and even go on and win it and get into Champions League. That's a season of dreams for Forest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we was talking about this the other day, Gaz. You know, people have been slagging Rooney off and Gerrard off as being crap managers and that.
Yeah.
They're played under the best managers, but they try and implement what they've learned off those best managers. They've got to have players to be able to do it. Now, the manager of Forest, he got sacked at Tottenham because he couldn't get them playing down there. So that squad of players maybe couldn't adjust to the way he wanted them to play. Now he's got a Forest, he's got a different set of players. Maybe he's got them players there that can play his style of football, and it's reaping its rewards at the moment. So, we were saying that sort of Rooney and Gerrard, Rooney should be Everton under the wing of the manager. You know, learning the game, learning how to manage a club that size, and then eventually get into it. But I do think it's about what players you've got to work with. You know, non-league. There's some lower league managers that are never going to manage a Premiership side or Championship side, but are very good at managing sides at a lower level because they know what they can get out of the players they've got.
I think the conversation we was having, Nigel, was really, really interesting. It'd be great to get Steve and Tom's view on it. I forgot his name. Mate, it's all right, mate. It's been a long day, mate. Trust me. And
we've known each other for years.
Long day, man. I was more worried about remembering Steve's name. But I'll tell you what's really interesting. It'd be great to get the feeling of you two and anyone else who'd like to drop a comment on this. So me and Nigel were having a good chat about this the other day. And you know, managers are copping the blame pretty much every time the sides are playing poor and everything else. And what I think we both agreed on, Nigel, was, you know, in this day and age, the managers very rarely actually get to choose the players that they're going to be bringing into the club. And I think at the end of the day, a manager will play a system. It'd be his system generally. Yeah. And if he can't, I mean, I'm not saying they don't have an input, but I think in some cases they don't. You know, you've got so many other people involved in who they bring into the club. Nigel, if you need to nip off, do that, mate. And so if you look at, I'm getting myself muddled up here, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is this: a lot of these managers are having players bought in for them that necessarily don't fit the system that the manager plays. So the manager, there's a lot of clubs out there where a lot of these players who are great in one club, they bring them over, they can't fit in with what the manager does. The manager's tending to cop the blame for poor sides. Is it really the manager's fault if the club are not giving the manager that level of input into who he purchases? Because surely it's the manager knows what the system is and who he needs and how he needs them to play into a system. And not everyone can play into a system. I don't get your thoughts on it, guys.
I think the Man United manager struggled. He was at Sporting Lisbon and he had them playing the way he wanted them to play. But that probably took maybe 2-3 years to get them playing that way. He's come over and he's found it difficult taking over out of Man United squad. They've got some star players in. So, yeah, I think you're right about, the manager's got to have some input on what players they get into the club. And I think there's too many fingers in the pie at the moment at the big clubs. I don't know what you think, Tom.
Yeah, I think the key point with that at the minute is the turnover in managers. Obviously, clubs are going through managers, they're chewing them up and spitting them out and not really giving them enough time, not really giving them enough transfer windows to get their own players in. So a lot of the time, obviously the players that are at a club are either brought in by the previous manager or somebody within the hierarchy. So there's no manager that can go into a club like that and be able to implement a system with the players at his disposal because they're not that manager's players. If I use Arsenal as an example. Arteta's first 2 seasons were not fantastic, but they gave him the time, and he's now implemented a system. Okay, they've not won any major silverware, but they've come closer than what they have recently for a long time. And he's implemented a system at Arsenal with the players that he wants. If Arsenal go and fail, he can't say that they're not his players.
Yeah, whereas... no, get that. But the point I was trying to make was so fine if he's brought the players in that he's been allowed. But a lot of these clubs, the managers don't seem to have enough input on the players they're bringing in. So if the manager's implemented a system and he's not got an input to bring in, that player may just simply not fit. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but that's where I was going. That's where I was going.
Been there a couple of years. If they're not got the input on who is on hiding to nothing, I'm having a problem with my internet. Hello.
Sorry, I think you're having a bit of a connection issue here, Gaz.
Sorry, yeah, I'm having a bit of an issue. I've got a new internet, and it's supposed to be brilliant. And anyway, Steve, what are your thoughts on it?
It isn't. I can tell you that.
Good, Tom.
Me.
Hello.
Yeah, Steve. Good.
Yeah, that's a difficult one because football is now such big business. It is taken off the hands of the managers, and you do have the likes of Eddie Howe, although he didn't buy Joe Linton. He's turned him around. He wasn't very well liked by even Newcastle fans, but he's turned him round to be an absolute beast in the middle of the park now. So there are managers out there who can turn it around. The same as the Forest manager. I think that's what he's done.
He's not.
No, he's done
a load of players. Absolutely, just about everybody, like Chelsea.
Yeah, you can always improve a player. From being a professional footballer myself, you can improve a player. What I'm saying is a difference between improving a player and getting a player to play in a formation and a system that you want your team to play in. So, yeah, I could become a better winger than what I was by practicing each day and getting better. But if I still can't fit into that formation or that way, the tactics that he wants you to play, then I'm not going to get into that side. And I think that's the problem at the moment. Some of the managers at the big clubs have got players that, if it was their choice to bring in, they probably wouldn't have done. And they can't do nothing with it. Some of the players in them big clubs, they're brilliant players, but they're just not fitting into the system.
Yeah, we could probably talk about this one all night. So I'm going to cut it short because we've been joined by Choo-Choo. Not driving a train, but he's joined us for a few minutes. I managed to talk.
Hello, boys. You all right?
How's it going, Dan? You all right, mate? I'll see you.
Hello, Tom.
Just introduce you there to Steve.
Hello, Steve.
Who is the matchday secretary at Wellingborough Town. Obviously, we're going to talk about Tom's visit to Wellingborough on Saturday. But whilst you're on, let's quickly. We've just been talking about the FA Cup, and we all reckon Palace have got no chance. No.
Right, see you next week, guys. I know we beat Villa twice this season, knocked them out of the League Cup, beat them 4-1 at home, and drew 2-0 up there. So doesn't mean anything, does it? But I mean, it's all on the day. No, it's good. It's a brilliant cup run. They're doing really well, Palace, at the minute, playing some good football.
it must be quite good that Palace are going to Wembley and not having to play Watford.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We always seem to beat Watford at Wembley.
Yeah, I left myself open for that one. But what we were saying is it's an interesting lineup this year. Obviously, Man City are in there, and for football, I hope that they don't progress.
Yeah.
You know, not Brighton. Who are they? They're playing
Forest.
Oh, of course they
They're
are.
playing Forest, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. And Forest are no mugs. They've been really, really good this season.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It's wide
And
open.
then-
City ain't what they was, so it's off any of the four can win it. Really, it's wide open. I believe. I think it's good for the cup.
yeah, definitely.
Agree with that.
Okay. Tom, while we got you, I know we're going to talk about Tom's trip, but let's because you're only on for a little while. So you went to Leatherhead on Saturday. Tell us a little bit about that, mate.
Fantastic day out. Normally we reach out before and because I was gonna go to the FA Vars semi-final, but couldn't get it. It was sold out. Probably could have got in, but don't want to take a ticket off a fan who goes all the time. It's not fair, is it? So went down to Leatherhead. Knew they was playing Kingstonians, and it was a fantastic day. Such a welcoming club, like we always find. Some great people, great ground, beautiful little town. Anyway, Leatherhead. I drive my trains through there, but no, it was great setup. The article's on the website now. Just want to check it out. But no, good football. 5-goal thriller. 2 goals in the in injury time. So a bit of a derby match as well. So no, it was a really enjoyable day.
Yeah, it was quite.
Yeah, Kingstonian fans. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of they're second or they're third now, Kingstonian, but they've sort of fell off not fell off a cliff lately, but Farnham have won the league at a canter. Obviously, they've got a bit more money, haven't they? And but they're doing things the right way. But so the Kingstonian fans are a bit unhappy with the setup, I think, at the minute and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a little bit of tension from them, considering they're in the playoff places. But whether they'll stay them or not, I don't know. But Leatherhead are now into just below the playoffs, so they're on a good run of late. So hopefully they get in the playoffs. And there's some good teams in there though. So it's always exciting at the end of the season with the playoffs coming up in whatever league. Championships or even a non-league. It's probably one of the best inventions ever in football in the recent years, isn't it? The playoffs, because it all keeps you keeps the season going, doesn't it?
I just got to apologise, everyone, because I'm having a little bit of issue with the internet at this end, so it is breaking up a little bit, I'm afraid. But we'll carry on.
Oh, we can hear you, right?
Dan, go on.
Dan, I'm surprised you saw the last 2 goals in injury time. You're normally in the bar by then, aren't you?
I had it by the pitch. Lucky enough, they got a great fan zone there. They've I think it's recently they've developed that. The fella I spoke to, Mick Sullivan, the director, they're a really lovely fella. Used to be their manager, and he said they've sort of copied Dorking a bit in that respect because Dorking got a fan zone. So the money's been put in by the club and helpers and stuff. But that's great. They've got a really nice clubhouse as well. Brilliant food facility. So they're doing everything the right way there. And it was there 575 there? So it was a good crowd. Good crowd.
Yeah.
So no, they're a team on the up.
And you're off this Saturday. Where are you off to this Saturday, mate?
Yeah, going to pop down to Red Hill. I see they've got Jersey Bulls, which is a first v second, same points in the
massive.
What are they? Yeah. So I'm going to contact Red Hill and hopefully see the Lobster, their mascot, who we've done a piece on, didn't we, about a year ago?
Yeah.
The Lobsters. So no, I'm going to contact them and definitely go down there. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good game.
No, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well,
mate, Wellingborough look good. Tom, they look good. Go on, mate.
Yeah, let's start the conversation. Yeah, go on then. Let's talk about Wellingborough.
Yeah, Wellingborough was brilliant.
Tom.
It was quality. Honestly, it's a fantastic little setup down there. Literally, as soon as you walk in, obviously you're greeted by people that just make you feel so welcome straight from the off, which obviously we find at a lot of places that we go to. But the facilities that they have there, It's criminal, really, that they don't obviously draw more fans in. And it was sort of a bit of a common theme. Anybody that I spoke to was sort of saying, look, we want to get more people through the turnstiles on a weekly basis. And it's criminal that they don't get the numbers, because honestly, it has got everything that you could honestly want for in a football ground. It's family friendly. The entertainment value was up there, and to be able to go and take that in on Derby Day against Rushden and Diamonds, and for them to get the 3 points with a 94th minute winner, it was just a fantastic experience. And massive thanks obviously go to Steve and his team, because they couldn't have been more hospitable if they tried. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was lovely.
It's an interesting conversation, obviously, Steve, with reference to getting the punters in, because in all fairness, you're having an unbelievable season, but you've always sat in the middle of Kettering and Rushden. You've been in their shadow, for years.
Yeah, we have
forever, really, haven't you?
Yeah, and we're so jealous of their following. Corby, Kettering, and Diamonds get a great following.
Corby, yeah.
And we just, for 70,000 people in this town, and we can't get 300 on a Saturday, unless we're playing somebody like Diamonds or Corby.
Yeah.
Is that more down to the fact that, though, in all fairness, you've got promoted last season, you're having a spectacular, I'll put the table up in a minute, you're having a great season, you're outshining one of your local rivals in Rushden, who again you've probably sat in their shadow for many years now.
Yeah.
But these clubs have played at much higher levels than Wellingborough, haven't they? That's probably why generationally a lot of people in Wellingborough are probably heading out to Rushden and out to Kettering, Corby, because obviously they've always played at that higher level. So I guess the time now is, and this is what Tom's alluded to, that the big question now is, how do you now get people from Wellingborough to get down to the Dog and Duck? That's a great name, isn't it? Eh? What a great name, the Dog and Duck. It's a pub, Dan, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
Beef eater. I think it's
literally right on the corner when you turn into where the ground is. It's bang on the corner there.
It's like it's driven. I think we doubled our attendance from last year, being in the UCL. So, it's just a matter of getting higher up in that table, getting results like this against the Diamonds. That's out there now in the town. A lot of people know about that. A lot of people are talking about it. So it's
massive result,
really. Although it's difficult to wait.
Have you got a youth set up there, Steve?
Yes, we have. Yeah, we've got a great youth set up, run by Gareth and Lisa.
Right.
And we had loads of their mascots here on Saturday, walking out with the players. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's what I found, and also at Leatherhead Saturday, another place we've been to, is that they're really getting their youth team set up and bringing them through, and then just bringing them into the club and making them part of the club. So they had them all with the players and future fans, isn't it? And you can obviously get their families come down, and it's just it's so hard to grow, isn't it? But being successful, hopefully you will.
Yeah, absolutely. The kids get in free. They can bring their parents in free if they're part of the youth section. So. And we've tried all sorts, getting people in. We've tried paying £5 on the gate, and that does increase the gate for that game, and then it drops off for the next game.
Yeah, it's hard to keep people coming back, isn't it?
I think though you've stepped up to a much higher level now, and like you say, that in itself has probably doubled your attendance. And I just mentioned, by the way, the whole of North Northamptonshire seem to be very envious of your pitch. Immaculate.
It's a great surface.
That you have,
it's a great surface. It really is.
Yeah, and even at Kettering and clubs like that, they're quite envious of the pitch. But I guess I'm gonna chuck something in, and I mean this is all down to finances, but. I have a belief that stadiums make a big difference in attracting people into the supporter club. Have you got? I noticed you put up a small covered section for your standing area.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the pipeline to improve the stadium? Because I think that's a key element. When Rushden were playing there, by the way, when Rushden, just so people are aware, when Rushden and then they reformed as AFC Rushden, Wellingborough kindly let them play there. But when they were there, they had a stand behind the goal. And I find wherever we go, especially the younger generation, they love to get behind the goal in a little bit of terracing and be the little Wellingborough ultras. And I do believe that if you've got a reasonable sort of stadium, and I'm not saying Wellingborough, you've got a lovely stand there, you've just put in that little bit of covered standing. I'm guessing that could go a bit further.
Yeah, we do need something beyond the goal. When previous the Diamonds had their stand, and when they left, they took it with them.
That's right.
But I see what you're saying. There is no plan forthcoming at the minute, but we've got so much else going on.
No, of course, it's an observation, really, Steve. That from my point of view, the one thing that you've got at the other two clubs is they've sort of got maybe a slightly better stadium in that respect, and
it's hard though, isn't it? You can't. Sorry, Gay. You can't. Steve just said, you've got other things going on. You've got all the other costs, and it's hard to grow. So then you might have to then it takes away from the team. You can't invest in the team or play the better wages, and because you're building it in the team. It's such a difficult balance in act, I guess, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's an observation that I strongly do believe that if you've got like a little bit of the covered areas, standing, stuff like that, it does appeal to people. And at some point down the road, it's just an observation, as I'm saying, some point down the road, if there could be an improvement in the standing areas that could be covered a bit more, I think that could help attract the fans, but it can only happen in time, can only happen if you've got the financial ability to do that. I get that. And it's got a lovely seated stand there anyway. Yeah,
and this is it. This is our first league in this league, first season in this league. Sorry, and we're going to away grounds and we're seeing lovely stands and lovely.
Yeah,
you've got a choice of where to go and sit or stand.
Yeah,
so,
you've definitely gone up a level without a doubt. I know a little bit about that league because that originally was Colton Town were in that league till they got chucked up into the East League, and so I do know a little bit about that. And there is. I mean, like you only got to look at Corby and places like that. Terrific setups, But again, they're more established at the higher levels, so therefore they've got a bigger income, and obviously you're now there. So now you're at the beginning, aren't you? It's the beginning of hopefully a success story for Wellingborough, and I really do hope that it is a success story, and I'm sure it will be.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning of the season, the target was to just not go down, because we'd worked to get up, and we've done so fantastic that when we got to the point where we weren't going to get relegated, the target changed.
Yeah.
And it's a bit cheeky, but to be higher than the Diamonds. And I think
definitely.
Well, you've done it, mate. So good.
Oh, bloody hell, you're the ninth place. That's good, isn't it?
They're having an
solid,
absolutely outstanding season, and we all hope that they can build on that. And like I say, this is dizzy heights for them. So
there's some big clubs in there at all in that league. There's Worcester City, there's Colby.
I mean, you go to Hinckley, Leicester Road, and it's like a League One ground there. It's crazy stadium. You know, But yeah, you've got Corby. I mean, they're very well supported. Corn obviously have already, well, absolutely smashed the league. And by the way, I'm there Saturday. So I'm at Corn Saturday. They're playing Rugby Town. Is it? Yeah, Rugby Town. And is it rugby they're playing? Yeah, I'm sure it is. But yeah, so I'm at Corn Saturday, looking forward to that. But yeah, Wellingborough sat there in 9th, Rushden down in 14th, which that in itself says a lot for the achievements of Wellingborough Town, in all fairness.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some good sides
last
in there.
5 games, Grantham, Bedworth, Loughborough, Sutton, who are all sort of below us, and the Diamonds, they're all playing teams above them in the higher bit.
Yeah. So you've got positive goal difference and all, which is always a good sign of a good team, isn't it? To have a plus goal difference is a
but that's been the problem recently. Like before the Saturday's game, I think we played 5 games and we've only scored 2 goals. But the previous 3 games before that 5 games, we scored 8 goals.
Yeah.
You know, so we've lost something there.
Yeah. Have you kept the same? Have you had to change the squad a lot from coming up, or is it the same core of players, or there's a lot of changes?
Have a few leave. The Diamonds pinched a couple.
Right.
But yeah, we have chopped and changed a fair bit, to be fair.
So it's a really brilliant achievement to finish mid-table this year.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I must make the effort to go down and watch a game. But Tom, so you've had a great day down there. When's the article due out?
Well, that's more of a question for Dan, I think. Everything's sat with him at the moment, so
it's
all written and good to go. So Dan, when are you publishing?
Have you sent the videos, Tom? The interviews?
I couldn't find them. It's all sent on email, mate. Yeah.
What? So the last couple of hours? Oh, we'll chat to you after, right?
Yeah. So probably
it's all ready to go. Just need interviews.
Yeah, some point tomorrow.
The interviews are there. I've sent you them on mail drop earlier, about 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay, I'll chat to you after. I couldn't find them. Everything's ready to pop, so if I'll stick it up after this later.
Yeah, sound all good.
Quality. Okay, Nige, I know. Anything you'd like to ask Steve about? Have I put you on the spot?
No, I've just been listening in really. I mean, when he's saying about it's hard to get sort of fans in the ground when you've got your Russians and that about. Probably, I know it sounds an easy answer, but probably getting promoted next year maybe and leaving the other 2 behind. That's going to maybe change your profile of the club, and that might get a few more new fans coming in. But I totally agree with you. You want to keep the quality of your players, and if it means paying them a little bit more and holding back on a few things, then do it, because success is what brings fans in and what brings people in and sponsorship. So I'm going to strangle my dog in a minute.
Not before I bloody do.
No, honestly, I think if you get yourself in the league above Rushden, they're the glory team in your area, I suppose. And if you get into that next level and they're still below you, I think that could change a lot of things.
Yeah.
Do you get into local schools as well, Steve? Do you?
Yeah, we try getting around there, putting flyers. We don't get a lot of interest back off that, unfortunately.
It's a shame, isn't it? It's so hard, isn't it? Like we said earlier, it's that part of the world. There's so many teams around there.
I mean, without a doubt, I think that is, to me, being as I live in Wellingborough, but to me, I would say because Wellingborough Town itself has been down the lower leagues, Rushden obviously have had a lot of turmoil the last sort of few years, but again, they were at one point a League One side, the big stadium, always had the backing of a big support, and Kettering, well, they're probably one of the biggest non-league clubs around as well, for where they are, and have been there or thereabouts in the top echelons of non-league football forever.
If you said there was 60 a couple of years ago, Steve, and now you've got 200, you're going in the right direction, aren't you? And you're doing everything right on and off the pitch at the minute.
Yes, and 792 on Saturday was just phenomenal.
Yes, see
Well,
that.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
that
it was a
was
So
massive
that
turnout.
predominantly made up of the Rushton support, or was it a 50-50 split? Or
I would say Diamonds probably just edged it, but I was quite surprised how many Wellingborough fans.
it's a starting point, Steve, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
at the end of the day, people are beginning to look, including myself. I've been looking, thinking, wow. I was shocked to realise that you'd gone up and you're now sat in Northern Premier Midland Division. To see you beating Rushton and whatnot, it will happen.
Yeah,
it will happen, and that's the problem. You're around teams that have been up there for a long time. I know Rushton have fallen on hard times, but they've been there. This is the start and something a bit different.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. I was looking at some of the Rushton fans as well, because I know a lot of them live in Wellingborough.
Yeah. Same with Kettering.
They've had
Yeah.
success, and that's where they've gone, and they're now their fans.
It's so hard to change people allegiances, though, isn't it? I think it's just that you've got to grab them when they're younger, or just disaffected fans from a Premier League or a Championship side who live locally. It's just so hard to grab someone from another non-league side, a supporter.
The thing is, Wellingborough's growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
It's getting so much bigger. So there will be fans out there that are going to be looking. Oh, we've moved into the area. Who's the local club? And they're who you need to get. You need to get them people.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
but also, I can vouch for the fact that the club are proactively working to ensure that happens. They're becoming more of a physical presence within the town as well. Obviously, Amanda that I spoke to at the club let me in on some community initiatives that she's sort of playing a leading role in. They're going to be present in the Wellingborough Carnival soon as well. They've got a float there at the carnival, so they are going to be physically present in the wider community, and just sort of showing the club off, because I can personally vouch and share the fact that my experience there was nothing but positive. I was made to feel extremely welcome. And I say this about non-league football versus your higher level football. The entertainment value is just as high. The food's better, the beer's cheaper, the football's just as good, and Wellingborough Town, the Dog and Duck Stadium.
About that.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. I'm not going to give you a chance. But the stadium itself is so traditional and so old school. I think the club have been there for over 100 years, and that type of thing, especially at that level, is just completely unheard of. Wellingborough Town has that unique connection with the local area, but they just need to reach that wider community and pull the fans in.
Yeah.
And the upward trajectory that this club is on, I truly believe that this club has got it in them to do it. And I challenge anybody within the local area to go down there and not enjoy yourself. It's a fantastic setup.
I have got to say one thing though, Tom. It isn't unique. It isn't unique. It isn't, mate. It isn't. And I've got to say that because every non-league club I've been to are amazing with what they do, how they interact with the community, the schools. So I've got to be fair to everyone and say it's not unique. It's non-league football. And that's what it's about. Non-league clubs all over this country do such amazing stuff. And we've been to some amazing grounds. So, and that is a challenge, again, you know, that every one of them face now is that, you know, they're all trying and they're all trying to get that support in. You don't think for 1 minute Kettering in trying to harbour into Wellingborough and niche these new people that are moving into the area. Rushton will be doing it. So it is a challenge. But like with every club I've been to, non-league football is just so amazing. It is so amazing. And
I'm gonna pop off, mate. I've got to shoot.
Yeah.
But lovely to meet you, Steve. All the best, mate.
Yes, and you.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers,
I'll
Dan.
crack on with that article. See you, Nigel. So long, boys.
Cheers, mate.
When I say unique, Gaz, I was more referencing the physical presence and doing the carnival in the local town. I've not heard of that specifically before. That's what I was referencing.
Yeah, I wasn't meaning to be funny about it. It was just obviously you know, there are many clubs that do wonderful things. So,
But that's the non-league clubs have got to do nowadays, haven't they?
yeah, and that credit to every one of yous.
Yeah.
Credit to every non-league club and everyone, like Tom said, you know, me and Nigel were at Leek the other week, and Nigel said the experience is just something you can't get in league football. You can't get that experience. Like we really enjoyed our day out, didn't we, Nigel? And it was
Yeah, I mean, you just get the feeling that you can relax and enjoy the day out and enjoy the game. There's going to be no trouble there, and it's more relaxed completely. You know, it's a friendly atmosphere. Although you got both sets of fans wanting the teams to win, but yeah, you do get a more personal connection with the clubs at a lower league, rather than at the top level where you're paying stupid prices for seats and stupid prices for drinks and pies, and you know nobody's got the time of the day for you because they're all rushing around and wanting to make money here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, you can't compare the experience you get in Championship and Premiership compared to the experience you get in the non-league clubs.
No,
Chalk and
absolutely.
cheese.
And yeah, Tom, I will admit, actually being in the carnival is probably quite a unique thing. I've not seen it, so yeah, all right, I'll take that.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, we are running rapidly out of time. It's been a really good. Maybe Steve, you'd like to come on another time as well and join in.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to quickly pop this one up, and to be fair, if you look at all the non-league leagues at the moment, it's so tight at the top for where, you know, 6 or 7 sides all win in with a shout of the being champions, but none more than this one. And what have I done now? Hang on. Here we go. Right. National League South. It's just what a ding dong going on there. I mean, if you look at 2 to 4 on 77, you know, Worthing out on top there with 80 points, so it's 3 points. It just anybody's in it. I know the ball's in Worthing's hands, really, but look at that's so tight, isn't it? 75 points, 73, 71. That's what you want to see in football, isn't it?
That's great.
Yeah, competitiveness. Competitiveness is what you want to see in football at the end of the day. You know, and if you look, you go higher at the Premier League. You look at the Premier League. Liverpool are running away with it. It's not competitive anymore. So I'd rather drop down and watch this.
Yeah,
all day, every day.
Liverpool running away with it. Yeah, I take it. I just fully agree with that. But I think from a Championship down to League One, League Two, down to the National League South, I think it's been one of the best seasons for a long, long time. Where you can't name who's going to win the league. You can't really predict who's going to go down. It's really tight. It's any team that strings about 3 or 4 games together in any league.
The Championship. The Championship, you still got no idea who's going to win that yet.
That's been one of the
Wide
challenges
open, yeah.
so far. I mean, if you go down to the bottom, the Championship, you've got from Stoke, who are 18th, down to Luton, who are 23rd. You've got 4 points separating all them sides.
It's not just about the title races; it's about the relegation battles as well. They're just as important and entertaining, aren't they?
Just talking about relegation battles, I've been. Nigel, you know I have as well. Like for the last couple of years, I've been predicting that the Premier League will become elitist in the respect that the 3 that go up will always come down, and we're beginning to see that now. I think.
Yeah.
I think there's probably still 1 or 2, maybe Leeds United. Maybe they could. There's probably a couple of, shall we say, unfashionable sides in the Premier League. If the Premier League were looking at who would they really want, I'm sure that they would want Leeds United over Bournemouth or Brentford, say, for instance. You know what I mean? But
I think
my prediction is there, almost there now. I think the 17 sides that are established in the Premier League are actually going to start feeling maybe complacency might be their undoing, but I suspect they're going to get a bit complacent and think, well, they can't compete, can they? That's the problem.
Yeah, it's pretty predictable. The three that go up more or less are going to come down. I mean, but your Brentfords and teams like that, they've been up there, mid-table and not higher for the last few seasons now, and they've done really well. But like you say, I think Leeds out of the Championship, but they only tied with a massive fan base and probably could get a big investor coming in with them and buying them the players they need to stay in the Premiership. Out of the others, I don't see.
I guess one might argue Sunderland. They've got big support, but
but are they going to get the investors? That's what I'm on about.
No.
I mean, the unthinkable could still happen. Leeds could end up in the playoffs, and they're probably like West Brom on 57 points, Leeds are on 81, and they've got the playoffs. They could end up not even getting promoted, and that was unthinkable 3 games ago with Leeds. It was unthinkable. That's how tight it is. That's how exciting that table is at Championship at the moment, and even going all the way down, League 1, League 2. It's
I do think it's time that they do the 3 up, 3 down through into the National League as well.
Yeah,
I think and they're screaming out for it in non-league football, really, to have that, and because it'll help all the way through the pyramid. So Steve, just finish off then. The ambition for Wellingborough, is it to get into the Southern League Central?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the next step. That's a big step.
Yeah.
But your revenue would increase so much because you get a big away following as well.
There would be a lot of work to do on the ground grading as well. Because
Would the ground currently meet the standard? I don't think it would it?
No, not at the minute.
No, it wouldn't. I'll tell you why. I just realised Harbour Town had till the end of this season to have another stand the length of the pitch going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they were going to be in a lot of trouble. Yeah.
I think hasn't that been agreed by their council or something?
Sorry.
Hasn't that been agreed by the council? I saw on the.
They got it. They put it in. I mean, they've nothing spectacular. It's a lovely facility there. It's all brand new almost. Lovely facility there. But they were just. I did visit it early part of the season, and they were just installing it, and they put a stand in the length of the pitch on the opposite side, whereas they only had a couple of stands this side.
Yeah,
and so they put them in now. But I was told at the time they had no choice. There wasn't an option. That has to happen and to meet the league standard.
Well, we've done a lot of work from last season to this season, so it would be just a matter of when we do go up, let's do our best.
Yeah. Did you have to alter the ground when you went up this time into step 4?
We changed the dressing rooms have to be increased,
right?
And we put turnstiles in where it was just walk in before.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we've done our time, to be fair. Not had hardly any comments, funny enough, which is really unusual. I don't know if we're having a few problems there. Gareth, mate, let me just put that up. Good to see how competitive National League South is. Nice to see you guys shedding light on it as a main media. Probably don't know its existence. That's why we do talk so much about it. Yeah, well said, Gareth.
I've just got a question for Steve. If you manage to go up, all right, and obviously you've got to do your ground improvements, do you think that's going to have an effect on what you can actually spend on getting better players into the club? Or would you have to sacrifice the fact that you've had to pay out more money to upgrade your ground, that you'd have to bite the bullet and stick with the same group of lads? Because obviously every time you go up, you've got to strengthen your squad a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got at the club. We're very lucky to have three good backers. Although they haven't got a never-ending pocket.
Yeah.
So that's difficult to say how that would go. But we would like to say that we'd keep the core of the team. You know, from last season to this, we kept a core bunch of players who've been absolutely brilliant. There were one or two that went.
Just say, like, it must be really frustrating if it was a situation because you've had to upgrade your ground, which has used up some of your funds.
Yeah,
that you can't improve your team because I don't care what you said you was hoping to not get relegated this year, but you've probably done better than you thought.
Yeah.
So that means the players are playing at the max or they've improved a bit. But when you get up to the next level, you've got to improve even more. So you can't rely on that same squad.
Yeah.
Brought you up 2 divisions.
Yeah, going paying more money, aren't you, for better players?
Well, I was about to say, the other problem you face is some of the ridiculous wages that other clubs pay players.
Yeah.
Even what you now, so you're step 4 now.
Yeah.
Right. And I know, I don't know what you play your players, but I know from talking to other clubs in step 4 that they've lost players to step 5 who have had their wages doubled.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in our Wood have folded, and I went to one of their neighbouring grounds club, and somebody there told me they were paying seven of their players a week.
How much?
£350 a week. That was 7 of them on contract. Now,
and there'd be clubs paying 500
to 100 people.
Yeah.
So it doesn't add up. You know, it's no wonder they folded, and that's where you've got to be careful not to be in that situation.
On paper, they would have walked that league. I know Corn walked it, but on paper, they were by far the strongest side because they were paying them money. But yeah, you know, I think once you reach step 4, step 3, you know, people are starting to pay players some ridiculous wages. I mean, you've only got to look at Macclesfield, a great example. They're doing so well. They're going up the leagues again, but they're doing that because they're playing. Some of their players are getting paid 4-figure salaries, and have been from when they were in step 6.
Right.
You know, from step 6, they had the money to do it, and they got the crowd as well. They they get a lot of money on match days, obviously.
Yeah,
I think that comes back.
That
to
is a massive challenge.
That comes back to them being historically higher up the pyramid, though, doesn't it? When obviously they folded and the Phoenix Club was created, they took a lot of that fan base with them, and I think we touched on it earlier in the show. That's where Wellingborough Town are going to suffer because they're a club on the upward trajectory. They've never been sort of in a higher position than what they find themselves now. So that's a challenge. They've not had that fan base to take with them through the steps.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think as well, especially with Macclesfield as well, you're quite right, Tom, about the historical fan base that they kept and absolutely did. But also, they had some big money coming from people. Out of interest, I didn't ask that, and I need to wrap it up. It's 8 o'clock. What is the setup at Wellingborough? Is it fan owned? Is it membership? Is it owned by somebody?
It's membership, but it's not owned by one person.
Right, so similar to Colton Town then. So they've got a board of 23 people or whatever it is, and
we've got
again, they're reliant on people putting dough in, you know, and they have great people that help finance the club, you know.
Yeah. A major problem with us is we don't own the ground. So we're paying some rent. We've offered to buy it off him, but he wants double the money. So we can't afford to buy it off. If we could buy it off him, we could get leases off the FA, plus things like new stands, things like that, you know.
Now I do know. Yes, I do know what you're talking about now. Yeah, because leases are. You're absolutely right. You actually probably couldn't get a stand if you haven't got the right leases in place and all sorts. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I do know that. Yeah.
Left on the
I'm
lease at the moment.
Kettering have had a similar problem.
Yeah.
I was talking to them, and they've had a similar problem in that they couldn't do nothing until they had sorted the leases out, and then the leases have got to be long enough as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a major problem for us at the moment. But there's things in the pipeline trying to change.
Well, I'll be keeping a close eye, and I know Tom's really been impressed by it all, and I'm sure Tom will keep a very keen eye on what's happening at the club. He really has had a great day out at Wellingborough, and we thank you for that. And we'll get to you again, and I will definitely try and get down and watch a game as well.
Right.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. I'm going to run around the table now so we can wrap it up. I'll start with Callie, mate. Anything you'd like to finish off with?
No, it's been interesting. I hope Steve, I hope it all goes well for you, and the club, and I hope you get the success and get a bit more of a fan base joining you. But I do think getting away from the other two teams and getting promoted will be the way that you'll get more fans into your club.
Yeah.
I wish you well. And Tom, have a good week.
Tom, for you?
Yeah, just a massive thank you to everybody at Wellingborough Town Football Club for having myself and Darren on Saturday. It was a great day. And I've got all the confidence in the world in the people that you've got within the club that are going to be able to take it to new levels. It's been a solid season. You guys are a fantastic outfit. And I hope that you managed to work out the challenges. And I hope that our visit served the purpose in attracting more people to the stadium, because you guys thoroughly deserve the support and the input of the local community that you give so much to. So yeah, thank you very much again, Steve, and everybody at Wellingborough Town.
Thank you.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Steve, what would you like? Oh, yeah, we've had a nice message through, by the way. So Gareth, he's a Welshman. Gareth Williams, you tell that. But he's a follower of the show, and we met him at Merthyr last week. Great guy. Gareth, I promise, I've not done it yet. I will send you that badge. I promise. Best of luck to Wellingborough. Look forward to catching up on the start of the show. Have a good week. Thank you very much, Gareth. Brilliant. Yeah, that's nice. Sorry, Steve. Go for it.
No, just thanks for coming down. And once this all goes out, we'll put this all out on our social media, and hopefully that will have an impact in the town as well. So it's been great having you guys down. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, it will be a great piece.
Thank you.
Tom's really good at what he does as well. So it will be a really good piece, and Dan will have that all put together, hopefully all by tomorrow. So superb. Right, last words from me. As always, everyone, please be safe and have a great week. But I just wanted to say, tonight's show for me has been, I guess, what we're all about. I suppose we learned stuff tonight about non-league. We Steve's give us an insight into what's going on. And that's what we're all about. Clubs are amazing what they do. They really are. I can't even single one out. I mean, I had a magnificent time at Merthyr the other day. That was fantastic. We had a really great time at Leek, at Colville. You could go on and on and on. The list is immense. Nuneaton were great. Kettering was good. There's so many other clubs we've been to. Hadley, and also Step 6, Sutton United. That was another one that was really good. From Step 6 up to Step 3, we've been pretty much busy. But yeah, not enough coverage is given to the non-league scene, and it is definitely the community aspect I want to talk about. Understanding, like Dan questioning there about the setup and the community, the interacting, as Tom quite rightly pointed out, and my bad, quite unique aspect actually. Football club on a float. I'm gonna have to have a wander down and see that maybe, but yeah, it's this is what the show's all about, and that's what tonight's been about. Steve, really enjoyed you being on, because it helps us give that understanding of what clubs are up against, like what you've just been telling us. It's been really interesting, and that's what this platform's all about. And yeah, no, thank you for coming on. Thank you for looking after Tom. and Darren on Saturday, and we wish you all the very best in the future.
Just before you go, latest Forest 1, Man United 0.
Oh,
Good.
Wolves 1, West Ham 0. Arsenal 0, Fulham 0. Yeah. Wrexham 1-0 up as well.
Forest,
So,
mate, what a season they're having. Phenomenal season. And I'm glad for him as well. Best manager in the world, Brian Clough. And he wanted you, Nigel, didn't he?
yeah.
Brian Clough.
Would have been nice.
He wanted you.
Mind you, I would never have gone to Forest. I would never have gone to Forest from. No, I wouldn't have gone to Forest from Derby. No way.
From Derby.
I would never have left Derby to go
But
to
what
Forest.
did Cloughie say about you?
He just said that.
He said something about you, though, didn't he?
He said I was a player that any manager would love to have on his side. So
There you go.
Maybe crossing and stuff like that.
We're in the presence of legendary Mr. Callahan. Are you on Mixcloud tonight, mate?
Yeah, I'll be on Mixcloud around about 9:30. Plus, I've got this.
I don't know why
I've got the meeting with this guy from France, the reporter from France. So hopefully, proper football will get a mention on that as well. So we'll be spreading our wings a little bit, hopefully.
Brilliant. I know Dan's going to try and chat up Jersey Jets, is it? Whatever they're called, for a trip out to Jersey.
Funny enough, this French guy,
Jersey Ball.
This French guy is he's doing an interview with Savage up at Macclesfield. So that'd be interesting to see what he says. That'd be quite an interesting read.
Yeah.
But,
no, we look forward to that then. Okay, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Not sure whether we've been having problems with people not being able to comment today, because normally we get a whole barrage and we've had hardly any. So there could be problems. I know I've been having a bit of an issue with my internet, so apologies if you have. Thank you for tuning in. And if you are watching this not on a Tuesday night, then we're not live, so don't bother making a comment. But anyway, Steve, all the very best, and hopefully an even higher finish by the end of the season. We'll be keeping a very keen eye out on that. Tom, we'll catch up soon. Well, you can all stay on for a second anyway.
Yep.
Let me, as always, never, ever, ever ready, am I? Never ready. But here we are. Here we go.